As the war in Ukraine intensified, foreign governments were quick to impose sanctions on Russia, President Vladimir Putin, and the oligarchs.
За последние несколько недель, как вы знаете, рядом западных стран были приняты нелегитимные решения по так называемой заморозке российских активов.
Oligarchs have financial interests outside of Russia. They own super yachts and mansions. One even has stakes in the English Premier League, while another was a large donor to New York's Guggenheim Museum. But who are they? Their rise to power began after the fall of the Soviet Union.
We saw, starting in the 1990s, the massive privatization of huge sectors of the Russian economy that consolidated the power in the hands of a few.
When Putin came to power, he was more responsive to the oligarchs. The government was desperately short on money and borrowed from whoever they could find, and that meant wealthy businessmen. Since then, there's been a major shift, and it seems like the oligarchs are more responsive to Putin.
A new type of oligarch started to emerge, and these guys came from the security services or from law enforcement, often from security service positions where they had been close to Putin in the past, and they were able to accumulate properties, taking over from the old oligarchs, and in some cases expropriating to form their business empires.
Russian experts say these oligarchs now play under a set of rules set by Putin. So when the Kremlin asks for help constructing the venues for the Sochi Olympics, for example, these oligarchs step in.
So they perform various functions for the state when asked, and in return, they're allowed to make money within Russia.
The West, in an effort to stop Russia from its current war against Ukraine, has imposed severe financial sanctions on many oligarchs, including Putin himself and his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov. These sanctions are intended to severely hurt Russia's economy.
We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine.
I don't think there are people in the White House who are naive that targeting a few Russian oligarchs may itself end the war, but there's optimism that combined with everything else the West is doing, the costs of doing this whole intervention will just keep going up for Putin to the point at which he realizes that to get them reversed, he has to back down.